So hello guys at the channel QS Angliski Язык. I'm greeting everybody who's watching these fragments of interpretation. This is just one example of the way your vocabulary keeps on growing, and I hope you have gotten used to it. Okay, then we'll probably start right here. Next page. A book by Sidney Sheldon, something like Stars Are Looking Down or something, shining down. The last time you came to our show after this, the last time you came to our show after the ceremonial laying of the highest skyscraper in the world, John London reminded. It's been almost 4 years since then. It's been almost 4 years since then. It has been almost 4 years since that time. Okay. That's right, Laura nodded. Well, constructing Cameron Tower will be completed next year. Constructing Cameron Tower will be completed next year. What does a woman have to feel? What does a woman have to feel once she turns out to be in your shoes? Since you've got in your background materializing such projects, such incredible projects, since you've got in your background materializing incredible projects like that, but you're still young and looking fine and looking glorious. Well, in general, commonly you are the ideal that so many women are trying to reach the image of. Bluntly, you are the role model that so many women are trying to tending to. Oh, you are exaggerating, Laura laughed out. I've just got no time to think about myself as an ideal. Too many things to be done. I've got just no time to think about myself as an ideal. Too many things to be done. Уже не переводим. You are considered to be one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the area of real estate operations. And that kind of business is normally considered to be peculiar to men. And this kind of business is normally considered to be peculiar to mostly men. How do you manage all that? How do you handle all that? How do you manage all that? How, for instance, do you make decisions where to construct a new building? How, for instance, do you manage? How do you make a decision, for instance, where to construct a new building? I don't pick the spot, Laura announced. I don't pick the spot. Well, I don't choose the place. I don't choose the area, Laura announced. Oh, Laura declared. Well, the spot itself chooses me. Oh, the area itself picks me. Say I'm driving in my car by an empty place, but I'm as though unable to see it. Something that stands up in front of my eyes is a wonderful administrative complex, or a cozy house with all the conveniences, or a cozy block of flats with all the conveniences, where people happily live. I'm dreaming of, and your dreams, you make them a reality, and you are making your dreams a reality. It's wonderful, and we'll continue the show after a commercial. The Japanese bankers, previously mentioned, that's why they are with a definite article there. The Japanese bankers had to arrive at 7:45. They had arrived from Tokyo the evening before, and Laura had scheduled an appointment with them for such an early hour, not to let them come back to senses after more than a 20-hour flight, after longer than 20-hour long flight. So when they began to protest, Laura calmly said, "I apologize, gentlemen, but I'm afraid I will not have a different time. I will not have an alternative time for you." Well, right after our negotiations, we can say talks. Right after our talks, I'm taking a flight to South America. And Japanese reluctantly agreed. There were 4 of them, short and polite ones, and each of them had a sharp-witted mind. Had his mind sharp like a samurai sword. SWORD. Well, about 10 years before, the financists, the financial employees, had such stupid things as to underestimate the Japanese. Well, now they no more were making such a mistake. Now they were not making this mistake anymore. So the appointment took place in Cameron Center and Oleg Avenue. The guests had been intended to invest $100 million into constructing a new complex of hotels, accomplished by Laura. The Japanese were escorted into a spacious conference hall, each one holding a souvenir in his hands. So Laura thanked the bankers, who expressed gratitude to the bankers, and in her turn handed them the gifts she had previously told her secretary to wrap into plain brown or gray paper, since to Japanese the white color is the color of mourning, and jazzy colorful wrapping would have been inappropriate in this case, was inappropriate in this particular case. Tricia, Laura's aide, served tea to the guests. As for Laura, in Laura's case it was coffee. In general, the Japanese would have preferred coffee too, but they were too polite to mention that. When the tea was finished, Laura ordered to refill their cups again, or to fix their cups. Well, the conference hall was visited by Howard Keller, Laura's co-partner. It was a man of 50 years old, pale and skinny, with slightly red hair, in a lightly crumpled suit, and looking as if he had just woken up, as if he had just gotten up from bed. Laura introduced him to the guests, and Keller handed out the copies of the presumable project of investment to the guests. So Laura introduced him to the guests, and Keller handed them out the copies of the supposed project, of the suggested investment project. As you can see, gentlemen, Laura started talking. Laura spoke. We have already received the first donation. We've already received the first tranche of the loan, the first part of the loan, for a voucher, we can say. Well, for a bond, for bonds, we can say, for bond. Well, the whole complex will have 720 hotel rooms, about 30,000 square feet of residential rooms for business meetings, business appointments, and a garage for 1,000 cars. Well, I think that'll do for this session. Thank you so much for watching this. Get used to English. So the only Russian you can see is what you can see, and the only English that you can hear is the one you can hear. So there are variations sometimes. Well, I thank you so much. I want to express my own gratitude for your watching this channel. It's been Oleg Ivaniloff with you, and stay with us on the channel QS Английский язык. Новая концепция.